The following is scheduled for one fall and is for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the pay-per-view event, The Rising Sun. I am Infinite Fantasy, and we're here live at the Tokyo Dome here in Japan. And we're now ready to start with our opening matchup. The World Heavyweight Champion, Dio Sebation, making his way to the ring, accompanied by his sister, the Witch, in a very special Japanese attire, as she accompanies her brother in his special matchup. Due to Hercules' demands after kidnapping Charles Elliott's son, one of them was that his protege, Arcangel, would receive a World Heavyweight title match against Dio Sebation at this month's pay-per-view event. And here we are for the opening match. We're starting things off big right here in Japan as Dio Sebation steps into the ring, ready to defend the World Heavyweight title against Arcangel. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Fantasy, and welcome to GTW, The Rising Sun, live on pay-per-view. And here comes Arcangel making his way to the ring. The challenger, protege of Hercules, one of the founding members of the Old Gods. He's been waiting for this moment his entire career. Finally, a chance to prove his worth to his master Hercules. But will he walk away tonight as the World Heavyweight Champion, or will he be decimated by this demon? And look at him, he's ready. Here in tonight's opening match in front of this sold-out crowd in the Tokyo Dome. We're right here in one of the greatest cities in the world for the World Heavyweight title.
Introducing the challenger. From Boise, Idaho, weighing in at 266 pounds, Arcangel! And his opponent, from New York, weighing in at 246 pounds, the World Heavyweight Champion, the Demon, Dio Sebation!
See Dio getting ready. He has the Witch in his corner. Arcangel with Rebecca Troy in his. The ref calling for the bell, and we're off. Dio starting off immediately with a tackle to Arcangel in tonight's opening match. The World Heavyweight title on the line, and Dio defending his title with everything he has as he goes for a huge power slam onto Arcangel into the canvas. And look at Dio just being completely relentless against Arcangel. The two men grappling up, and there's Dio throwing Arcangel against the ring canvas. Once again, locking up. The two men feeling each other out, getting a feel of the situation. Dio has Arcangel against the ropes, and there's the referee going to break it up. And there's Dio with a huge right shot to the ribs of Arcangel and working on the leg. You hear the excitement right here at the Tokyo Dome. We're opening things up big with the World Heavyweight title on the line. And there's Dio using a snake eyes on an Arcangel into the corner. Here goes Dio, following up with a backbreaker. Two backbreakers. Arcangel completely broken in half. One, 2, but Arcangel kicks out in 2. This could have been a very quick title defense. You can see the Witch in Dio's corner, completely confident in her brother's ability to defend his title right now. But here's Arcangel now pulling Dio back, getting a little bit on the offensive, but here's Dio with a counter. Once again, the World Heavyweight Champion looking very strong in tonight's opening match. And there's Arcangel, his face being completely planted into the ring. Dio now measuring up his opponent. This could be a very quick title defense here in tonight's pay-per-view opening match. There's Arcangel getting out of the ring, trying to get a little breather. Dio goes for a swing, but Arcangel ducks just in time and sweeps Dio right off his feet. And watch this, I see Rebecca Troy in the corner there, take off the top turnbuckle. The referee didn't see it. If Arcangel can somehow capitalize on that, he might be able to gain an unfair advantage over the world champ. And here's Arcangel going for that moonsault. 1, but Dio gets the shoulder up. Arcangel going for the headlock on the Dio Sebation, gaining the offensive on the champ. The referee distracted right now, trying to get that turnbuckle back on. It was ripped off by Rebecca Troy earlier. This might have been a strategy to distract the ref, while Arcangel went for a few cheap shots with his back turned. But here comes Dio, getting the reversal. He goes to drag Arcangel towards the middle of the ring. Looks like he's going to try and finish his match. Arcangel fighting to his feet right now. Dio with those big shots, but Arcangel coming back with some receipts on the world champ. Here comes an Irish whip. We're off the ropes, and Arcangel with the spear. The ref goes down. 2, but Dio gets the shoulder up on 2. And just for a few more minutes, Dio still holds on to his World Heavyweight title. You can see a look of worry on the Witch's face as she's now getting into it with Arcangel right now. The Witch and Arcangel get into a little back and forth banter, but this may cost Arcangel if he doesn't pay attention as Dio gets to his feet. And it looks like Dio has been busted open. The world champ has been busted open. I'm seeing blood dripping down from his face right now. This could be a bad sign. The more blood he loses, the more dizzy and weaker he becomes, and the more subjective he is to losing that title to Arcangel. Despite how confident he may look at the moment, using his raw power to lift up the 245-pound man. And there's Dio coming off the second rope with a shoulder tackle. Dio knows he's losing blood, and he's looking to end his match quickly. He's putting out all the stops, all the power moves. Here comes the cover. 1, 2, but Arcangel kicks out. Dio sizes him up. Looks like he's going to try and end things for the end of days. But no, Arcangel reverses the finisher move. And there's a knee buster right into the face of the World Heavyweight Champion, Dio Sebation. Dio struggling to get on his feet. You can see he's losing a lot of blood right now. Arcangel taking advantage. And there's a shot to the groin by Arcangel as he goes for the cover. 1. But no, Dio manages to kick out. It seems the world champion still has fight left in him. Here comes Arcangel, now lining Dio up. It looks like he's ready to go for that finisher. And there's the biblical sense by Arcangel. But no, I don't believe it. Somehow, some way, Dio manages to get the shoulder up despite falling prey to Arcangel's finisher move, the biblical sense. You can see the frustration on the challenger's face as he continuously beats down the Hell Demon, Dio Sebation. The world champion seems to be in a lot of trouble right now. It's just the lights are out. And we're seeing Dio with his demonic tricks. And here he comes with a powerful choke slam. Here comes the pin. 1, 2. Oh, but no. Somehow, Arcangel kicks out. Dio can't believe it. Somehow, Arcangel kicked out of his signature chokeslam. Dio continually laying on the pressure. World Heavyweight title is on the line right now. And look at that size and power by the world champ, just lifting Arcangel all the way up. Barely breaking a sweat doing it. Here comes Dio, coming off the ropes. Net breaker. Here he goes, stomping on Arcangel. Dio making his way to the top rope. Could this be it? An atomic elbow drop by the world champ. Here comes the pin for the title. 2, but no, again Arcangel kicks out. You can see the Wiz visibly frustrated in the corner right now, wondering what her brother is going to have to do to retain this title. And there's Arcangel with a huge shot to the ribs, using the momentum from that Irish whip, and a clothesline by Arcangel. For the title, 1, 2, but no, again, Dio kicks out. Arcangel continuously being relentless, attacking that head, attacking the shoulder and ribs of Dio Sebation. Here comes an Irish whip. He goes under. He goes over. He attempts a Superman punch, but Dio manages to dodge the last second. And Dio goes with not one, but one German suplex, followed by a clothesline. And here he comes. I'm sensing the end of days coming. And Dio hits it. End of days. 1, 2, 3. And Dio Sebation retains the World Heavyweight Championship.
Here is your winner, and still World Heavyweight Champion, the Demon, Dio Sebation!
What an amazing win by Dio Sebation. Despite being able to kick out of the chokeslam, despite Dio losing a lot of blood after being busted open in the hands of Arcangel and those distractions by Rebecca Troy. Once again, the Demon himself, Dio Sebation, has proven not to just Japan here at the Tokyo Dome, but the whole world that he is the Grand Tour Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rising Sun. I'm Infinite Fantasy. We are live here on infinitefantasy/twitch.tv here at the Tokyo Dome, live on pay-per-view. We have an amazing fight card for you tonight. We just saw Dio Sebation retain the World Heavyweight title against Arcangel. But coming up next, we got the GTW World Tag Team titles on the line as the Outlaws take on the Tag Team Champions, the Hardy Boys, and the Dudley Boys in a triple threat tag team ladder match. Then, the Women's Championship will be on the line as Brenda Bison will be defending her title against Akima Saki in a submission match. The objective is to make your opponent to a bout. Whoever can make the other woman surrender will be claimed the GTW Women's Champion. And also, in recent weeks, a grudge has been brewing between Barry Jenkins, Nathan O'Gray, and now we have Shinosuke Nakamura coming into the mix. The three men will finally get to settle their differences here tonight in a triple threat match. Another title in line from the women's division as Kimiko EMP Tanaka and Kana Nanako of the Syndicate will be defending the women's tag team titles against Asuka and Io Sky of Damage Control. Another big star from Japan, Chosen, will be defending the GTW Intercontinental Champion against Benjamin Bourne. For weeks now, Chosen has been eyeing Benjamin Bourne to be his protege, forcing him into being his tag team partner, showing his hubris. However, Benjamin Bourne saying that he is no protege and he wants to prove to Chosen tonight that he is his equal, and he's going to attempt that by winning the Intercontinental Championship tonight. The night, a week after Summer Bash, the Warrior Princess Amber Charlotte had made her debut to GTW as one of the new members of the Old Gods. In a tag team match, her and Rebecca Troy put Amanda Price into the hospital, putting her on the injured list. Amanda Price, finally returning to GTW, will have her chance to get her receipt on Amber Charlotte tonight in an underground match. And then, for our main event, a match with all the stakes. After being hospitalized for a month straight, Stephen Dynamite has made his return as a guest referee, screwing Hercules out of his chance to literally become the official director of GTW. And now, tonight, Hercules will have his chance to get payback on Stephen Dynamite as they have a no-holds-barred street fight for the Grand Tour title for tonight's main event. But first, we have our triple threat tag team ladder match for the tag team titles. The Outlaws versus the Hardy Boys versus Team 3D, coming up next, live on pay-per-view here at GTW. The Rising Sun.
The following contest is a triple threat tag team ladder match and is for the Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers at a combined weight of 456 pounds, Justin Hicks and Billy Cactus, the Outlaws.
I'd like to welcome Dancing Red Sox and Dark89 to the chat room. Thank you for tuning in tonight here on tonight's pay-per-view event. We have the Outlaws of Billy Cactus and Justin Hicks, who have literally gotten into this match, some would say undeservingly, by just relentlessly annoying director Charles Elliott over and over until he finally gave them their first contendership to the tag team titles. However, it went to the Dudley Boys first, and now we have a triple threat match. And just to put the ice on the cake, it's going to be for a ladder match.
And at a combined weight of 461 pounds, the Tag Team Champions, Jeff Harvey and Matt Handy. Team Hardcore.
And we got Team Hardcore, the Hardy Boys, making their way to the ring. You'll notice they don't have their tag team belts on them, as they are now raised above the ring. In order to win this match, you will have to climb up a 16-foot ladder and retrieve the belts in order to be crowned the tag team champions in tonight's match. We see Jeff sporting his signature makeup, and his brother Matt now sporting some new headwear, I guess looking to protect himself in case he falls off a ladder.
combined weight of 603 pounds, Bubba Ray and Devon, the Dudley Boys!
The Dudley Boys, arguably one of the greatest tag teams of all time. They lost the tag team titles to the Hardys back at Summer Bash in the end of August, and now have a chance to reclaim the gold. However, this is the Hardy Boys special match type. Will the Dudleys be able to prevail going against not only the Hardys, but the Outlaws tonight? Once again, the objective will be to climb up a 60-foot ladder and retrieve the belts. Problem is, you gotta get to two other tag teams to get them. And you can see up in the air, you see the tag team titles suspended way up. The Tokyo Dome going absolutely crazy here in Japan. Team 3D is in the house. Here we go. Tag team titles on the line. And here comes the bell. And there's Justin Hicks taking down Bubba Ray Dudley. You see Devon already out of the ring, trying to measure whether he should go for that ladder or not. But here comes Billy Cactus now throwing Devon out of the ring. Matt Hardy and Justin Hicks going back and forth as Bubba Ray now throws Jeff Hardy out of the ring. And there's Justin Hicks trying to rip off that headwear off of Matt Hardy. Meanwhile, the rest of the four men fighting outside the ring. And there's Jeff Hardy throwing Devon into the steel stairs. And there's Billy Cactus tangling up with Jeff and Bubba Ray. And then Jeff Hardy getting his head rung in right into the announcer table by Billy Cactus. Meanwhile, inside the ring, you see Matt Hardy, Justin Hicks, and Devon Dudley fighting over the ladder. Matt Hardy now retrieving that ladder, placing it. Looks like he was attempting to place it in the corner. But here's Bubba Ray just pulling it. Sorry, Devon just pulling it right out of his hands. I apologize, folks. There's a lot of action to cover right now. Outside the ring, you're seeing Bubba Ray and Billy Hicks momentarily teaming up against Jeff Hardy, but now seeing the three are having a every man for himself mentality. And here comes Devon setting up Justin Hicks inside, going for a power bomb. No, it goes snake eyes into the turnbuckle. And here's Devon now attacking Matt Hardy. And a knee right into the spine. Justin Hicks going for an arm drag after throwing Devon across the ropes. And there's Matt Hardy taking Justin Hicks down. He now has Devon against the ropes. Justin Hicks now attacking Jeff Hardy with a powerful body slam. Devon now being thrown out of the ring by Billy Cactus. Billy Cactus momentarily going after him, but is right away cut off by Bubba Ray Dudley with a sidewalk slam. You got Bubba Ray in the ring, now setting up that ladder. Looks like he's going to be the first to attempt to grab the titles. He might be coming close. Jeff Hardy distracting Justin Hicks there. And there's Justin Hicks getting a shot on Bubba Ray, looking to stop him. And Matt Hardy looking to push the ladder down. And there's Bubba Ray. Bubba Ray just fell 16 feet from the ground after Matt Hardy knocking that ladder over. Outside the ring, you see Billy Cactus punishing Jeff Hardy with that steel chair. Bubba Ray, despite being dropped 60 feet from the air, making a second attempt to climb that ladder, going for the belt once again. And it looks like he's coming close. All the men are outside the ring, completely distracted. Bubba Ray so close to grabbing those tag team belts. And he gets it. The Dudley Boys are the new tag team champions. What's up, J Props? I see you in the chat. How you doing? Thank you for joining in for tonight's pay-per-view event.
The new tag team champions, Baba Ray and Diva, the Dudley Boys.
And here we are. We got the Dudley Boys once again claiming what they lost at Summer Bash, the tag team titles. Baba Ray made one attempt to climb that ladder, but was pushed over by Matt Hardy, falling 16 feet in the air. However, with all other 5 men distracted outside the ring, he was able to gather himself and climb that ladder. And now the Dudley Boys are once again the tag team champions here at the Rising Sun. Coming up next, we have the Women's Championship on the line. Brenda Bison will be defending against Akima Sake in a submission match. It was only a month ago where Akima Sake learned that the next pay-per-view event would be in her home country of Japan. The only thing that she wished above anything else was to compete for a championship in front of her family on her own soil ground. Brenda Bison repeatedly had been denying her that title shot until things got heated between the two and a brawl broke out. Brenda Bison, getting tired of Akima Sake constantly challenging her, has finally given in and is granted Akima Sake the Women's Championship, but she says under one condition: she wants to humiliate Akima Sake in front of her family here in Japan, in front of her friends here in Japan, and says she will only put the belt on the line if she's allowed to defeat her the same way she won the title from Amanda Price at Summer Bash, and that is to make her tap out. So right now, we have Akima Sake in her home country, her family, right here in the Tokyo Dome, in the front row section, watching, will be challenging Brenda Bison for the Women's Championship in a submission match. The objective is to make your opponent surrender to you via tap out. That is coming up right here, right now on GTW, the Rising Sun, right here on pay-per-view.
The following contest is a submission match and is for the Women's Championship.
And here she is, hometown girl Akima Sake, born and raised in Japan. Her friends and family, her parents, everyone she knows and has ever grown up with is here in attendance here at the Tokyo Dome to watch Akima Sake wrestle for the Women's Championship in tonight's submission match. The crowd in a quiet respect for this hometown wrestler. You see the excitement on her face as she's about to live out her dream, winning a championship gold in her home country. She's not just doing this for herself now, she's doing this for the honor of her people and her love of Japan. And here she is, with her partner, the Russian glider Andre Armstrong, one half of the intergender tag team champions. Brenda Bison, the current reigning GTW Women's Champion, making her way to the ring. You can see the focus in her eyes. She has only two objectives right here tonight in the Tokyo Dome. The first objective: successfully defend her women's championship. And her second objective, by making Akima Sake tapping out doing it. Andre Armstrong accompanying Brenda Bison in her corner in tonight's championship match. The focus between this man and woman, between the red faction here, is uncanny. There is nothing like it. At times I question whether these two even have souls. The intergender tag team champions raising their belts loud and proud. The women's championship now being displayed next to the commentator's desk. However, it seems the Red Faction not exactly getting a warm welcome here at the Tokyo Dome.
Introducing the challenger from Kobe, Japan, beautiful. And her opponent,
And you see Akima
from
Sake ready.
Russia, the women's champion and one half of the mixed tag team champions, the assassin Brenda Bison.
And as Brenda Bison, who could very well be holding that women's championship for the very last time here tonight. We already seen the tag team titles change hands in that ladder match. And we're off. And the two women starting off with a grapple. This is a submission match, so we may see a lot of technical wrestling in this. And no, Akima Sake saying screw that. She's immediately going for her agilic style. However, she may have just paid for it as Brenda Bison, with a calculating move, lifts her knees up just in time to catch that frog slash by Akima Sake. And this Brenda Bison wasting no time getting the submission hold on Akima Sake. However, Akima Sake came here to win the championship and easily maneuvers her way out. The two women once again locking up. This match has been a month in the making now. And there's Brenda Bison with a dropkick on Akima Sake. There she is, punishing the leg on the challenger. The more she weakens those leg limits, the more she weakens her limbs and joints, the easier it will be for the Russian assassin to make Akima Sake tap out. That will be the objective in this match tonight. Whoever makes their opponent surrender will be the GTW Women's Champion. Here comes Brenda Bison, setting herself up on the second rope. Waiting for Akima Sake, lining the challenger up. And a flying knee drop right into the face of Akima Sake. And once again, Brenda Bison going for the submission hold. Akima Sake manages to counter with a Hurricanrana maneuver. And there she is, throwing an elbow right into the face of Brenda Bison. There's a leg, and there's a sweep by Akima Sake. Brenda Bison quickly rolling out of the ring, trying to gain a little distance from the challenger. An amazing athletic display by the challenger Akima Sake, fighting for the honor of her people, fighting for the honor of her family right here in Japan. Brenda Bison attempting, look out from behind. However, suffers from elbow to the face, followed by a European uppercut by Kimasaki, and now she lands the frog splash on the women's champion. There's a Kimasaki with a running leg drop on the Brenda Bison. And she goes over the top rope with an amazing high-risk maneuver. It may have just paid off. All Kimasaki has to do is capitalize here. You see she's scouting, trying to think of where's the best place to apply her submission hold. And it seems she's deciding to weaken the women's champion a little more before going for that tap-out maneuver. There's a Kimasaki coming off the top rope with another frog splash. The ribs on Brenda Bison must be hurting. And here comes the submission hold by Kimasaki. Will Brenda Bison tap out? No! She manages to scurry her way out. And Kimasaki going for a tilt-the-world DDT on the women's champion. Brenda Bison gets the receipt though, laying in a giant headbutt on Kimasaki. We know those Russians are known for their hard heads. And here she is, applying that submission hold, an orthodox figure four, if you will, on Kimasaki, trying to weaken the legs there, maybe the knees. And here we go, Brenda Bison with the crossface. Will Kimasaki tap out? Will she tap out? Will this be enough? No. No, she pries the hands open and escapes the submission hold, but you can see the damage has already been done. Kimasaki, though, with a desperate maneuver, gets the face buster in on the women's champion, Brenda Bison, and here she is with a crossface of her own. Brenda Bison, though, known for her technical prowess, able to maneuver her way out. And remember, this is Brenda Bison. She beat Amanda Price at Summer Bash in a submission match for the Women's Championship. She beat Amanda Price, a GTW women's wrestler trained by an Olympic gold athlete. And she made Price tap out. And she is applying another submission hold on Kimasaki, but Kimasaki manages to twist the body around to get out of it. You can see her limping now. The damage is done, but it's not slowing her down. And Kimasaki, once again, relying on her agility to counter Brenda Bison's technical wrestling skills. And she once again applies the submission. Brenda Bison manages to wrestle her way out. And see for a second, Bison might have had a Kimasaki. Kimasaki with a desperate maneuver, doing a leg drop onto the knees. And here she goes, wrenching the neck. Will the champion tap out? No, again, she escapes. Remember how many times the Kimasaki goes for that hold. Brenda Bison manages to get out nearly immediately every single time, just showing what kind of wrestling technical skills the women's champion has. And here's the Kimasaki, now planting Brenda Bison in that corner, torturing her with those chops to the chest. And what is she doing? She's gonna attack her. Akima, what are you thinking here? What are you thinking? Oh my god! Oh my god! That's her full body weight just dropping on the Brenda Bison right now. And here she is, squeezing her head between the thighs. Bison manages to roll out of it. And Brenda Bison setting up for a fisherman suplex. And it looks like she's setting her up, going for the crossface once more. The crossface is locked in. Kimasaki's in the middle of the ring. She has nowhere to go. She's nowhere near the ropes. It wasn't enough. Somehow, Kimasaki managed to escape the hold. Brenda Bison attempted an Irish whip. Brenda Bison reverses. And an amazing athletic display by the challenger here. Kimasaki now goes to the top rope with another flying frog splash, moving across the ring. And here she is, applying that lock. She's bending Brenda Bison in half with this. Bison popping her legs out, manages to wiggle out. And there's the leg scissors by the women's champion, Brenda Bison. She's getting herself pumped up. Goes for that right hook. Kimasaki blocks. She comes in with those kicks. A knee to the pelvis. Kimasaki telling Brenda Bison she's ready. And there's a drop kick by Kimasaki. Kimasaki once again going for another frog splash. This frog splash seems to be her Achilles heel. However, I'm starting to wonder if she's doing how much damage she's doing to herself rather than Bison. She's got the hold in. Bison not so quick to get out this time. It seemed Bison was about to get out. As soon as Kimasaki noticed that she's about to break the hold, she slams her head right into the ring. And what a powerful slam. Throwing her body around to gain full momentum to weaken her. Now she's going for the submission hold once more. Will Brenda Bison tap? No, she escapes. She Irish whips Kimasaki against the ropes. Kimasaki with a clothesline. She's now setting her up. Looks like she's going to go for the finisher. No, Bison counters. He brings Saki into the corner, smashing her head, ringing her head right into the top turnbuckle. She's measuring up. What does Bison have planned here? She runs across. And from across the ring, runs in with a European uppercut. Kimasaki once again desperately going for the knees. She brings Bison against the ropes. An Irish whip. An amazing combo by the challenger Kimasaki. And what's Andre Armstrong doing? He's getting up on the ring apron, getting at Kimasaki's face. This is precious time that Kimasaki could be using right now to get the win over Brenda Bison. And Brenda Bison looking to take advantage of the situation from the distraction, but Kimasaki saw it coming and springboards off the second rope here. I think the legs on Kimasaki starting to give out. She wasn't able to follow through the maneuver. Brenda Bison able to get the reversal, and now she has her in the figure four. Kimasaki looks to be in a lot of trouble. Even though she didn't tap, the damage is clearly being done to the challenger right now as Brenda Bison now applies the crossface once more. Could this be it? No. No, not yet. Somehow Kimasaki managed to survive the crossface once again. There's Bison coming off the ropes, throwing the elbow right across the forehead of Akima. And there's Saki going for the right hook into the ribs. She now has Brenda Bison slamming her into the corner. She throws her body way around to damage the leg of the women's champion, and she comes in out of nowhere with a face buster. Kimasaki now, once again, now has Brenda Bison in the middle of the ring with that submission. She's bending her neck backwards. Bison throwing the arm up, goes to counter, but Kimasaki with a counter of her own. Brenda Bison able to counter her weight. Gain the reversal, and here comes an armbar. She has the armbar on a Kimasaki. You see her with a repeat, and the Kimasaki taps out. Brenda Bison retains the women's championship.
And still women's champion, the assassin, Brenda Bison.
Amazing. Brenda Bison is not going to let this down. She just made a Kimasaki tap out in front of her own family, her own friends, in front of her own people in her own country. What a humiliating defeat in the hands of the Russian assassin, Brenda Bison. With submission, retains the Women's Championship. And once again, I'd like to welcome my fans who are in the room. We have Dark89, thank you for coming. J-Props, what's going on? We have Dancing Red Sox. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the show, to this big pay-per-view event. Coming up next, no titles will be on the line, but instead, these three men have a grudge to settle. After a huge argument between Nathan LeGray and Barry Jenkins, these two are 1-for-1 in singles competition. However, their tiebreaker could not be settled after Shinsuke Nakamura had interfered trying to make a statement and a name for himself in GTW. As a result, Barry Jenkins on one episode of Dystopia challenged Shinsuke Nakamura to a singles competition, only for Nathan LeGray to attack Barry Jenkins, causing Shinsuke Nakamura to get disqualified. Nathan LeGray and Shinsuke Nakamura try to settle things the next show on Wednesday Night Brawl. However, Shinsuke Nakamura and Nathan LeGray had Barry Jenkins interfere in the end of the match, who attacked them both. Now, tonight, the three men will have a chance to settle their differences between each other in a triple threat match. Coming up, folks, we have Barry Jenkins versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Nathan LeGray right here in a triple threat match on our pay-per-view event, The Rising Sun.
The following contest is a triple threat match. Making his way to the ring from Kyoto, Japan, weighing in at 220 pounds, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Shinsuke Nakamura, a former wrestler of the WWE, had a prestigious career. Last we saw him, he had the WWE United States Championship. He said he has made his name for himself in that promotion, and knowing that GTW was going to be housing a pay-per-view event in his home country of Japan, has come to the Grand Tour Wrestling promotion to make a name for himself right here. His first attempt was against Andre Armstrong, which fell flat, but now he's looking to prove himself by taking out the former hardcore champion Nathan LeGray and the man of sugar and spice, Barry Jenkins, right here in this triple threat match here in the Tokyo Dome, live in Japan.
And his opponents, first, from Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 212 pounds, Barry Jenkins.
And here comes Sugar and Spice himself, the man with the plan, Mr. Disco Inferno, Barry Jenkins. This is the man with lots of color and lots of style. dancing his way to the ring in front of his fans here in Japan. This all started when Barry Jenkins and Daniel Gray attempted tag team action. His flashy style clashing with Daniel Gray's very serious hardcore style. The two men just could not get along and compete together in tag team action and been at each other's throats ever since. And here comes the final opponent for tonight's triple threat.
And from Houston, Texas, weighing in at 275 pounds, Nathaniel Gray!
Here comes Nathaniel Gray making his way to the ring. The former GTW Hardcore Champion. This man is all hard knocks, completely hardcore. He is all fight, no chill, no jokes, no time for color. And he's coming here at the Tokyo Dome, right here in Japan, looking for a fight. In this triple threat match, anything goes. There'll be no disqualification. These men can do anything they want to each other. First one to get a pin or submission will win tonight's grudge match. There'll be no titles on the line, just pure, unadulterated hatred between these three men. We see Shinsuke Nakamura ready, Barry Jenkins ready, Nathaniel Gray ready. And here comes the bell. Shinsuke Nakamura being the first to strike, but immediately gets countered by a bulldog by Barry Jenkins. Barry Jenkins now coming after Nathaniel Gray, who gets an elbow to the face. Shinsuke Nakamura being knocked down by a jackhammer by Barry Jenkins. And there's Barry Jenkins laying on that combo on Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura now setting him up, and here comes a double team maneuver between Nathaniel Gray and Shinsuke Nakamura with a double DDT. However, it seems their teamwork seems to be short-lived as Nathaniel Gray immediately goes after Nakamura with a powerbomb. And you see Gray now relentlessly attacking Barry Jenkins. You can see which one of these three men Daniel Gray hates the most right now. However, it was breaking up by Nakamura's German suplex. Now it's Nakamura's turn to beat on Jenkins, but Gray now comes in, knocking down Shinsuke Nakamura. I almost feel like Nakamura and Daniel Gray are fighting each other over who gets to beat up Barry Jenkins right now. And here comes Gray with an Irish to the corner. But Gray, Jenkins coming out of nowhere with a clothesline on Nathaniel Gray. There's Jenkins now using an running elbow to take down Nakamura. Gray getting the counter on Jenkins. Nakamura with a bridge suplex on Nathaniel Gray. However, Gray able to kick out before the 1 count. Nakamura now seems to be dominating this match as he's knocked down Gray and Barry Jenkins here. Jenkins getting those elbows in on Nakamura. Gray now going for an Irish whip. And gets that kick in right before Barry Jenkins hits the ring canvas. The advantage now once again goes to Nakamura as both Jenkins and Nathaniel Gray are on the ring out cold. Jenkins rolling out of the ring and seems to be looking under the ring for a foreign object. However, Nathaniel Gray, familiar with hardcore rules, being a former hardcore champion himself, was able to see the strategy in my way and stop Jenkins before he could grab a weapon from under the ring. Here comes Jenkins with the clothesline outside. The three men now fighting ringside. And it seems Jenkins' flashy sugar and spice style might have just cost him, as he spent a little too much time fooling around there, taunting his opponent. Nakamura coming off the ground, the flying drop kick onto Daniel Gray. And there's Nakamura playing to the crowd, his people here in his home country of Japan. And Jenkins coming off the top rope, flying outside the ring with a double axe handle, knocking Daniel Gray down. And we see Nakamura going under the ring, pulling out a steel chair. Nakamura with a foreign object, beating the hell out of Barry Jenkins, but it's short-lived as Daniel Gray comes out of nowhere with a spear. Daniel Gray getting in the ring for just a moment, just to get a breather. The battle seems to be at ringside right now. And there's Barry Jenkins slamming Nakamura's head right into the steel ring post. There's Jenkins just twisting the ankle of Nathaniel Gray. It looks like Jenkins is walking around just trying to get a breather real quick, trying to just get a moment to compose himself, and he runs in with a bulldog on Nakamura. And here he comes with a suplex onto Nathaniel Gray. Barry Jenkins momentarily dominating in this triple threat match. Nakamura being thrown right into the steel stairs. And Nakamura taunting Barry Jenkins, a game that Barry Jenkins knows all too well. And instead of falling for the trap, decides to get into the ring. We now have Nathaniel Gray and Barry Jenkins going one-on-one inside the squared circle. Here goes the count, but Nakamura breaks it up. Nakamura now relentlessly attacking Nathaniel Gray, punish him for trying to get the pinfall on Barry Jenkins. Nakamura now going with the Irish whip, followed by a very hard German suplex on Barry Jenkins. And Nakamura coming in with that flying punch. He's getting amped up. He's ready to finish off Nakamura right here now, but Nakamura, with his martial arts expertise, was able to counter the attack. However, his back was turned on Barry Jenkins. No. Nakamura still under control. He goes for the cover. One, but no. Jenkins manages to break up the count. Here comes Jenkins, going for those punches. Great, interfering, setting him up for a suplex. And he transfers the suplex into a powerbomb, slamming him full force using that extra momentum. Nakamura is down. This could be his chance. 1, 2. Barry Jenkins kicks out though. That might have been Nathaniel Gray chance to get that 3 count with Nakamura knocked down. However, Nakamura now had a chance to recover. He's going for the pin himself, but Jenkins immediately breaks up the count. It's just Nakamura and Barry Jenkins in the ring right now. Nakamura countering Barry Jenkins' move. He's outside the ring, going under the apron. He's pulling out a Singapore cane, a kendo stick in hand, and outside the ring now seems to be beating Nathaniel Gray with the foreign object. Gray throwing Nakamura into the ring. All 3 men back inside the squared circle. Here comes Jenkins with a knee to the inner thigh of Nathaniel Gray and another knee into the groin for extra measure. And now he hits the neckbreaker on Nakamura. Gray breaking up the count there. Nathaniel Gray now with the steel chair in hand. And he just rams it right into the face. And there's Jenkins. Jenkins out of nowhere with a low blow. There's no disqualification a triple threat match. Everything is perfectly legal. 1, 2. Jenkins manages to kick out. What an incredible exchange. You had Nathaniel Gray attacking attacking Jenkins with the chair. However, Barry Jenkins got to receive him with a low blow on Nathaniel Gray. And Nakamura, in all the chaos, took advantage. Here comes Jenkins with the pin. Nakamura immediately breaking up before the 1 count. And there's Nathaniel Gray with a drop kick, followed by a spear on Barry Jenkins. Nakamura's down. This could be his chance. 1, 2. But Jenkins gets the shoulder up on 2. Once again, another moment where Shinsuke Nakamura was out of the ring, out cold. That could have been Nathaniel Gray's chance to get the win. Here comes Nathaniel Gray. Once again, Lionel Jenkins. Jenkins counters. He's going for those knees to the back of the leg. And here he goes, setting him up. It looked like he was going for a suplex, but Nathaniel Gray manages to counter. An Irish whip. And there's Nakamura from behind attacking Nathaniel Gray with that kendo stick. And now he's using that weapon on Barry Jenkins, who rolls out of the way. And Jenkins at nowhere with a pile driver. 1, 2. Nakamura kicks out. Jenkins now has Nakamura. Looks like he's about to bring him to the ropes. Nakamura throwing his elbows, fighting his way out. He has him against the corner. And there's a huge body slam by Nakamura, who's going to the second rope. But here comes Gray, pulling a sledgehammer, slamming it right in the nose. I don't believe it. Nathaniel Gray just slammed the butt end of the sledgehammer right into the nose of Nakamura, knocking him out cold, followed by a devastating powerbomb on Barry Jenkins. And here comes Nathaniel Gray giving Nakamura a suplex city. He's going for the pin. Barry Jenkins out cold. This could be it. 1, 2. But no, Nakamura manages to get the shoulder up. Here comes Barry Jenkins attacking Nathaniel Gray from behind. Using those knees on the inner thigh there. Nakamura went under the apron, bringing out a baseball bat. We now have weapons all over the ring. We got a sledgehammer, a steel bat, and a kendo stick in the middle of the ring right now. Nakamura dragging Nathaniel Gray in the middle of the ring. No doubt he had evil intentions in mind. Nathaniel Gray having one to recover. Here comes the pin, but Barry Jenkins breaks it up. Remember, the first one to get a fall on any opponent will be declared the winner in this triple threat. And there's Nathaniel Gray. He had evil intentions with that baseball bat. Nakamura able to counter at the last moment, saving himself from being hit by that steel foreign object, but it's not enough. Gray getting a shot in the ribs with that steel bat. 1, 2, but Nakamura kicks out. Nakamura kicks out, Barry Jenkins runs in, they kick in. And there's Jenkins using the bat on Nathaniel Gray. 1, 2, but Gray kicks out. And there's Barry Jenkins just stomping both feet, using the heels of his boots on Nathaniel Gray. Nakamura from behind, attacking both men with the kendo stick. He's going for the pin. 1, 2, but Gray manages to kick out. And there's Nakamura with a spinning heel kick. He's sizing Jenkins up. And a counter by Jenkins. Nathan Gray able to capitalize on the counter. There goes a fisherman suplex by Nathan Gray. You can see he's getting amped up here. He wants to end this match. He wants to cause Nakamura a lot of pain. There's a double axe handle by Nathaniel Gray, who's now getting outside the ring, amping the crowd up. Sweat dripping from his face, and from through the ropes gets Nakamura with a spear. And here he is, throwing the kendo stick right across the ring, across Jenkins' face. He breaks the kendo stick and then slams Jenkins slams his face right into the steel baseball bat. Now applying the crossface on Nakamura. Will Nakamura tap out? No, Nakamura manages to wiggle his arm loose. Here comes Barry Jenkins with a possum pin on Nathaniel Gray. 1, 2, but Gray kicks out right before the 3 count. This is a match you can only have at a live pay-per-view event. Here comes Gray going for the pin. Nakamura's out. Gray using the ropes. And he almost had it. Nathaniel Gray using the ropes as leverage. Perfectly legal in a triple threat match. There's no disqualification. He would have gotten the 3 count right there if not for Nakamura breaking up the count. And now, Shinsuke Nakamura seems to be on a roll right now. Nathaniel Gray looking to pick him up. Nakamura getting the counter, attacking the back of the knee. Sledgehammer in hand. And there he is, attacking the ribs of Barry Jenkins with that sledgehammer. Barry Jenkins, though, manages to get up and get the power driver. Gray's knocked outside the ring. 1, 2... But Gray, at the last minute, at the very last second, manages to break up the count. Here comes Jenkins, lining Gray up. Here comes the suplex. Nakamura looking for that receipt. Huge right cross on Barry Jenkins. He picks up Nathan Gray. Here comes the Irish whip into the corner. Big body slam by Nakamura. He gets to the second rope. Sizing up Nathaniel Gray. This will try a kick, but nobody home. Here comes the pin. 1, 2. But Nakamura kicks out at the nick of time. Barry Jenkins now getting back in the action with a straight punch to Nathaniel Gray. Now running in with an elbow. He grapples Nakamura with a huge neckbreaker. There he is, stomping with those mule kicks right on Nathan Gray. Baseball bat in hand. No, he's dropping it. Instead, he looks like he's going to go for the win here. 1, 2, but Gray kicks out. He might have been better off using that foreign object. Here comes Jenkins. Going to Dragon, Nakamura back in the ring. Jenkins now going for a powerbomb, but no. Nakamura throwing those punches to get out of it. Nathan Gray taking advantage of the situation. Spiking his head right into the ring canvas. Nakamura now comes from behind Gray. Gray counters Nakamura. Gets the Shades of Grey finisher on him. He goes for the pin. 1, but no. Jenkins once again manages to break up the count with a slap across his face for good measure. Jenkins now going for the pin. Nakamura knocked out. Gray gets the shoulder up, but barely. Here comes Gray, looking to set things up with Jenkins. Both opponents knocked down. And what's Gray doing outside the ring? Those are bad intentions, grabbing the steel stairs from the corner, bringing the steel stairs right into the middle of the ring. kick by Nakamura onto Barry Jenkins. Nathan looked great, go for that suplex. Nakamura going for the counter. Here comes the Irish whip. And a big boot to the face. Here comes the pin. One, but no. Jenkins again breaks up the count. Here comes the Irish whip. Jenkins able to get out of it. Here comes Nakamura, going for the pin. Grace knocked outside the ring. 1, 2, 3, and Nakamura wins.
Here is your winner, Shinsuke Nakamura.
You can see that big gash across the top of the eye of Shinsuke Nakamura. However, despite his blood, sweat, and tears, he manages to get the win in this huge 5-star triple threat match. The rivalry has been settled. Out of the 3 men, Shinsuke Nakamura is declared the winner. What an amazing hardcore style rules match that was. Coming up next, we have the GTW Women Tag Team titles on the line between the Syndicate and Damage Control. The Syndicate, ever since forming their tag team, have held on to the women's tag team titles. But it was only maybe barely a week after Summer Bash that Damage Control, the team of Asuka and Io Sky, have made their GTW debut, making their intentions known. They want to prove that Kumiko Tanaka and Kananako are pretenders, that despite that they are Japanese, do not truly follow the customs, and they're going to do it right here in Tokyo, Japan, as they challenge the Syndicate for the tag team titles. That's coming up next on the Rising Sun. Here comes the tag team champions, the team of Kananako and Kumiko Tanaka, the Syndicate, making their way to the ring. In this tag team match, the women's tag team titles will be on the line. All 4 competitors in this match, native to this great country of Japan. I gotta say, those championship belts look great on those 2 women. It'd be a shame if they lost them to the 2 WWE superstars. And what would that even mean if they were to lose the titles tonight? Would that mean that the GTW titles would be going to the WWE? Technically speaking, Asuka and Io Sky are still contracted as Monday Night Raw wrestlers. And here comes one half of Damage Control, making her way to the ring. The Demon of Japan, Asuka, making her way to the ring. I would not be surprised if this whole plan was Asuka's talking Io Sky into being her tag team partner to go after the GTW Tag Team Champions. Asuka made it clear that her whole motivation is she believes that the Syndicate are just pretenders. That they are Japanese women brainwashed by American culture and wants to prove that she is the best. She says that the world is not ready for Asuka and is ready to prove it right here in Tokyo. This WWE star making her GTW pay-per-view debut in this tag team title match. And here we go, another hometown girl making her way to the ring. Io Sky, born and raised right here in the city of Tokyo, Japan. One half of Damage Control, one half of the challengers for the tag team titles right here tonight at the Rising Sun pay-per-view event. Another big star in the WWE. She is a former women's champion, much like her partner Asuka. A huge in-ring competitor, a main eventer. Both Asuka and Io Sky both considered to be two of the top women in the WWE. The Syndicate are going to have to pull out all the stops in order to retain their tag team titles tonight against these two powerhouses.
The following is a tag team match set for one fall and is for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers, Asuka and Io Sky, Damage Control. And their opponents, the Women's Tag Team Champions, and the Syndicate!
And here's the tag team champions, Kumiko Tanaka and Kana Nanako, forming the Syndicate, ready to defend the tag team titles against Io Sky and Asuka of Damage Control. And it looks like we're starting off with Kumiko Tanaka and Asuka as the legal women in tonight's tag team match. And here comes Kumiko Tanaka with a flying moonsault off the top rope, already starting things strong against Asuka in his tag team match. Asuka rolling over though, managing to get the advantage over Kumiko Tanaka. And right away, Asuka showing her why she is considered the Demon of Japan in this matchup. And here comes Asuka, laying away those hard punches onto Kumiko Tanaka. Here comes Asuka with a German suplex onto Kumiko Tanaka. And she stomps a boot to the face. She is damaging that hand. Two women going back and forth with those strikes. Kumiko Tanaka looking to get aggressive. Asuka, known for her martial arts training, using that spinning heel kick across the face. Asuka now tagging in Io Sky. Here comes Io Sky, going for an Irish whip. It seems Tanaka may have accidentally run into the ref for a brief moment. And there's Io coming out of nowhere with a DDT of one half of the women's champions. Io applying pressure on that leg on Tanaka. And here comes a frog splash by Io Sky. Here comes Io going for the pin. 1, 2, but Kumiko Tanaka kicks out on 2. Because Io playing to the crowd. This is her home city. Wouldn't it be something if Io Sky were to win the women's tag team titles right here at her home city of Tokyo? There she is, tagging in Asuka. Kumiko Tanaka now tags in Kana Nanako. Nanako, the leader of the syndicate. Going for a high-risk maneuver with a flying kick to Asuka. As Nanako using her knee to damage the arm of the challenger. She comes bouncing off the ropes with a huge neck breaker onto Asuka. And what a fake out by Kana Nanako. He now Irish whips Asuka into the corner and tags in her partner Kumiko Tanaka. And there's Tanaka with a huge shot to the ribs while Asuka being held down by Nanako. Tanaka going out the ring, and there's a spinning heel kick by Asuka as she goes to tag in her partner Io Sky. Comes Io bouncing off the ropes, but misses. Here comes Tanaka, going for that Irish whip, accidentally running to the ref. The two women going back and forth now. And here comes Tanaka, getting a sleeper hold on Io. Io countering with a stunner. Io goes for the Irish whip, goes under, goes over, and a drop kick by Io Sky. Here she goes, going for the cover. This could be it for the tag team titles. 2, but Tanaka kicks out on 2. And here comes Tanaka, going for that clothesline. She now tags in Kana Nanako, now the legal partner in his tag team title match. Dropping with full body weight, using that axe kick into the inner thigh of Io Sky. And there's Asuka attacking Nanako from behind. Io rolling Nanako over. You can see that amazing athletic ability by Io Sky here. Here comes Nanako coming off the ropes with a flying kick to Io Sky. 1, 2, but no, Asuka breaks up the count. Here comes Kana Nanako lining up Io. Brings him up with a pile driver. Here comes the pin. 1, 2, but Io kicks out. Nanako tagging in Tanaka. And the syndicate going for a double hit toss on Io Sky. And Io getting the hot tag on Asuka. Asuka now in the ring once again with Kumiko Tanaka, the two same women who started off tonight's tag team matchup. And Asuka nearly got 3, if not for her partner, Nanako. Here comes Asuka applying the sleeper hold on Tanaka. Kana Nanako now outside the ring. Io Sky outside the ring. However, Nanako manages to wiggle her way out. And here comes Tanaka, going for a possum, rolling Asuka into a pin, but Asuka immediately kicks out and reverses with a gator roll. And here's Asuka once again, twisting an ankle, damaging the leg of Kumiko Tanaka. What an amazing tag team match by these 4 women here in Japan. All 4 of them representing their country in this tag team title match. And there's Asuka flying across the ring with a huge neckbreaker on Kumiko Tanaka. Asuka going for those hard hits, knocking Kumiko Tanaka down. She now tags in Io Sky. Io with a European uppercut onto Kumiko Tanaka. She now drags her into the corner, slamming her face into the top turnbuckle. And I think Kumiko Tanaka has been busted open. I think that huge hit into the turnbuckle might have caused a gash on top of Kumiko Tanaka's head right there. She's definitely been busted wide open. You can hear the crowd yelling, "This is awesome." Io Sky going for that moonsault, but nobody home. Kumiko Tanaka getting the counter in, but she's looking a little sluggish right now as she's starting to lose blood. You can tell she's in, and we can see as she moves towards her partner, tagging in Kana Nadeko. Nadeko looking to torture Io Sky here, giving her a receipt for busting her partner open. He measures up Io, calling to the crowd, and with a roll, she goes that close up and misses. And Io counters with a drop kick. Kana Nadeko might have done a little too much showboating there, allowing Io Sky to gain the advantage. And after delivering an impressive European uppercut, Io Sky now tags in her partner Asuka. Here comes Asuka, dancing on the ropes, going for that drop kick but misses. Thanks to Nadeko's awareness in the ring, she was able to avoid the attack, and here she comes with a crossface on Asuka. Asuka rolling her way out, not allowing herself to tap out in the life of Kana Nadeko. And here comes a bridge, using a bridge as leverage for the pin, but Asuka kicks out. Nadeko now on the second rope. And here comes a Hurricanrana by Kana Nadeko. She now tags in Kumiko Tanaka. And here goes Io, now measuring her up. Tanaka saw it coming, and there's a Superman punch by Kumiko Tanaka, who has turned the tables and is now the one measuring Asuka up. And here comes the pin. 1, 2, but Asuka kicks out. There's Asuka against the corner, but she manages to throw in the elbow. Tanaka countering Asuka. Here she is, amping the crowd up here in the Tokyo Dome. She goes for the pin. 1, 2, but Asuka kicks out. Here comes Kumiko Tanaka with a flying moonsault off that second rope, using the second rope as a springboard. Slowly picking her apart, damaging that knee, climbing to the second rope, and a front splash onto the back of Asuka. Asuka being thrown into the partner's corner. The Syndicate going for a double team maneuver. Nanako now the legal woman. And there's a double hip toss by the Syndicate. Asuka rolling her way out of the ring, trying to get a breather for a moment. The ref starting the ring out count. Remember, the Syndicate has the champion's advantage. If anyone at all loses by countouts, the titles will not change hands. Here's Nanako tagging in Kumiko Tanaka as she squares off against Asuka in the middle of the ring. Here's Asuka going for those kicks. And finishes off with a spinning heel kick across the face. Will this be it? 1, 2, but no. Nanako manages to break up the count. Asuka now measuring up Tanaka. Tanaka making Asuka eat the ring canvas. She's going to tag in Kana Nanako. Kana Nanako going for the pin. 1, 2, 3, and the Syndicate retains the tag team titles.
Here are your winners, and still women's tag team champions, and Impress, the Syndicate.
The Syndicate retain the tag team titles against Damage Control, and Kana Nanako and Kumiko Tanaka had just proved Asuka wrong. They are 100% authentic Japanese. Not just authentic Japanese, but the GTW Women's Champions. What an amazing tag team match, an incredible performance by all 4 women representing their country here tonight. And gentlemen, coming up next, we have the Intercontinental Championship on the line between Chosen and Benjamin Bourne. This all started months ago as Benjamin Bourne being taken open challenge after open challenge, trying to prove that he could be the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Champions. Chosen had finally obliged him at the pay-per-view event Summer Bash back at the end of August. However, Chosen managed to get an amazing victory over Benjamin Bourne. Things did not end there though. Chosen claims that he saw something in Benjamin Bourne in that match, despite defeating him, retaining his championship. Chosen had for weeks been talking Charles Elliott into booking Benjamin Bourne in these random tag team matches, despite the fact that these two started butting heads in the middle of their matches. Chosen kept on insisting Benjamin Bourne continue as his tag team partner. In the end of it, it was revealed that Chosen was trying to secretly take Benjamin Bourne as a protege. Unfortunately, bad boy Benjamin Bourne did not take that well. The two started butting heads more, and here we are at the Rising Sun, where they're about to sell things once and for all. Benjamin Bourne wants to prove that he is not a protege of Chosen, but his equal, and he wants to prove it tonight by winning the Intercontinental Championship. And that's coming up right here, right now, on the Rising Sun.
The following is scheduled for one fall and is for the Intercontinental Championship.
Here comes the Intercontinental Champion, Chosen, making his way to the ring. The last time these two met in a singles competition was at our last pay-per-view event, Summer Bash, where Chosen had successfully defended his Intercontinental Championship against Benjamin Bourne. Here comes bad boy Benjamin Bourne, making his way here in the Tokyo Dome, ready to challenge Chosen for the Intercontinental Championship. Here's the Intercontinental Championship on the line.
Introducing the challenger. From Green Bay, Wisconsin, weighing in at 231 pounds, bad boy Benjamin Bourne. And his opponent, from Kyoto, Japan, weighing in at 202 pounds, the Intercontinental Champion, Chosen.
Here we go with the two men. Chosen starting off strong against Benjamin Bourne here. Here he is wrecking the arm. Both men have something to prove. For Benjamin Bourne, he wants to prove that he is capable of being the Intercontinental Champion. He wants to prove that he is capable of being considered Chosen's equal. Chosen has something else to prove. 1, 2, Benjamin Bourne kicks out 2. Chosen has something else to prove. He wants to prove that he could be Benjamin Bourne's mentor. He wants Benjamin Bourne to be his protege, and he wants to prove to Benjamin Bourne that he is not ready to be his equal, that he has so much that he can learn from him. But you know, Bourne, he's always been known for having that hard head. And then you have Chosen, who's always been known for having a bit of an ego. And the two just do not clash well. The two men now fighting outside the ring. The ref starting the ring out. Chosen throwing Benjamin Bourne in the ring. He's not looking to win this match by countout. He's got something to prove. This is about two men looking to prove things to each other. Chosen needs to retain this Intercontinental Championship the correct way in this matchup in order to prove his point to Benjamin Bourne. And there's Bourne with a big kick, a boot to the head to Chosen. Bourne now has Chosen against the corner, stopping him out. There comes Chosen, going for the pin. 1, 2, but no. Benjamin Bourne manages to get the shoulder up at the last second. Here comes Chosen with a cross across the face, followed by a cutter. Chosen now on that top rope, using that high-flying style that made him so famous right here in Japan, but Benjamin Bourne gets out of the way. And there's an uppercut by Benjamin Bourne. Bourne now getting to the top rope. And there's a double axe handle by Bad Boy Bourne. Here comes Bourne with the pin. 1, 2, but Chosen gets the shoulder up. Here comes Bourne, now measuring Chosen up. He gets Chosen down with an arm drag. Chosen now giving a receipt with a boot to the head. Chosen spring up the top rope with an elbow drop. Here comes the pin. 1, 2, but Bourne kicks out. Here comes Chosen stomping on the arm of Benjamin Bourne right now. And a Hurricanrana by the Intercontinental Champion Chosen. Chosen making his way to the top rope. Bourne rolling out of the ring. And he throws Chosen right off the top turnbuckle. You can see it in Bourne's face. He's hungry. He wants that Intercontinental title so badly. He wants to prove that he's not just someone to be mentored. He is an equal. He knows everything that Chosen knows. He is just as capable, and he's looking to prove it right here tonight. He goes for that swanton but misses. Chosen going for that combo, starting with a chop to the chest, followed by a spinning hook to the head. The Intercontinental Champion now on the top rope, doing a reversing shooting star press. Here comes the pin for the belt. 1, 2, but Benjamin Bourne gets the shoulder up. Chosen went for that Irish whip, looking to get a clothesline on Bourne, but Bourne managed to catch it this last second, using the ropes to stop himself. And now Benjamin now gained the advantage. 1, 2, no! Chosen got the shoulder up the last second. You could see on Benjamin Bourne's face, he really thought he was about to win the IC title right there. Here comes Chosen with a double hook DDT. Could this be it? But Bourne managing to muster up everything he has. He's reaching it deep down to get that kick out. Bourne sweeping the leg of Chosen right now, followed by a knee to the head. There's Bourne coming off the ropes. Chosen dodging the attack at the last second. Chosen now countering with an Irish whip and a takedown by Chosen. Chosen now getting to the second rope. The crowd in Japan cheering him on. And Bourne gets his face smacked in right into the ring canvas. Benjamin Bourne seems to be in a lot of trouble right now. Chosen looking to line him up from across the ring. And a flying elbow right to the side temple to the challenger. Here comes Chosen getting to the top rope. And another reverse shooting star press by the IC champ. 1, 2, 3, and Chosen retains the Intercontinental Championship. Oh, Benjamin Bourne does not look happy at all. He looks furious with this win. Chosen retaining the IC Championship. However, Benjamin Bourne leaving the ring very angry. I have a feeling this is not over between these two. Ladies and gentlemen, we still have more to come. But first, we're going to take a quick intermission break for the next 2 minutes. And when we come back, we'll be having an underground match between Amanda Price and the Warrior Princess, Amber Charlotte of the Old Gods. That's coming up next after a quick break. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We have 2 matches left on tonight's card. First, we have an underground match between Amber Charlotte and Amanda Price. This all started 1 week after Summer Bash. After Rebecca Troy suffered a humiliating loss against the Witch in a last woman standing match at Summer Bash, she was then ended up having another match against Amanda Price the next show on Wednesday Night Raw, both times losing by knockout. Feeling humiliated by both the Witch and Amanda Price, Rebecca Troy, with Hercules' guidance, had recruited Amber Charlotte, also known as the Warrior Princess, to be the newest member of the Old Gods in a tag team match between Rebecca Troy and Amber Charlotte. Not only were they able to defeat the Witch and Amanda Price, but managed to put Amanda Price on the injured list. In an interview, Amanda Price was asked about her injuries and said the only things that she knows is that Amber Charlotte has receipts coming, and formally challenged the Warrior Princess at the Rising Sun. But this will not be just any match. See, there's no titles on the line this time. This is a pure grudge between these two women. Amanda Price has a lot of receipts for the newest member of the Old Gods, and she wants to settle this tonight in an underground match. For those of you at home who don't know what an underground match is, an underground match is a no disqualification match where the ropes of the ring are removed, where members of the crowd here at the Tokyo Dome will be past the barricade surrounding the ring, up close and personal. This is straight up set up to be an underground fight. You can win only 3 ways: submission, pinfall, or knockout. There will be no ropes to hold these two women back. No disqualification. It's just going to be pure hatred intent. Coming up next, Amber Charlotte versus Amanda Price, underground match right here at the Rising Sun. Here comes Amber Charlotte, looking as focused as ever. We see the select VIP members of the crowd here at the Tokyo Dome surrounding the ring. They're getting the best seats in the house. Complete ringside. No barricade between them and the wrestlers. No ropes to hold these two warriors back. No disqualifications. No rules. It's going to be a pure, straight-out fight between these two women. And here comes the former women's champion, Amanda Price, one of the most decorated wrestlers in the women's division here in GTW. At one point was a number one contender for the Grand Tour title itself. However, Amanda Price, trained under an Olympic gold medalist, is known for her technical skills as a wrestler. Amber Charlotte, known for her brutality. I might say that despite Amanda Price's anger and her need for payback, the advantage might go to the Warrior Princess in this matchup. Underground rules: no counts, no pinballs, only win by knockout, submission, or pinfall.
The following contest is an underground match. The only ways to win are by knockout or submission. Introducing first, from Adelaide, Australia, the Warrior Princess, Amber Charlotte. And from Allentown, Pennsylvania, Amanda Price.
And we're starting things off in this underground match. I was about to call this a fight because I feel this is what it is. And right off the bat, Amber Charlotte tackles Amanda Price right off the ring. Remember, there are no ropes to hold them back. No disqualification, anything goes. And right off the bat, immediately Amber Charlotte tackles Amanda Price right off the ring canvas. Amanda Price going for that submission hold. And there's Amber Charlotte with a big kick. The two look like they're about to fight their way towards the entranceway. Here's Amber Charlotte throwing those elbows into the ribs of Amanda Price. And there's a chop to the chest. Amanda Price blocking that next hit though. But once again, I said it before and I'll say it again, Amber Charlotte is the one who has the brutality in this match. Amber Charlotte is the one that is used to street fights. And as good of a wrestler as Amanda Price is, I really have to illustrate that Amber Charlotte might have the advantage in this underground match. Amanda Price starting to fight back though, doing some damage, sticking to what she knows, putting Amber Charlotte in that submission hold. However, Amber Charlotte easily able to power her way out of it. Amanda Price being thrown back onto the ring. See her just wailing on her, using those hits, and with her full strength, full force, grabs Amanda Price by the hair, throwing her into the ring head first. And Amanda Price getting a headbutt in, giving Amber Charlotte the receipt. You see the crowd at the Tokyo Dome going absolutely wild. And here comes Amanda Price with the angle slam, her signature move. And there's Amanda Price with the second angle slam, knocking Amber Charlotte out.
Here is your winner.
I don't think that match lasted 5 minutes.
Price.
Amazing. In under 5 minutes. Under 5 minutes, folks. Amanda Price knocked out Amber Charlotte. That's incredible. That has gotta be a record. I have never seen Amanda Price or anyone get beat for that matter. She might have even beaten Hercules' record in that steel cage match 2 months back. What an incredible display from Amanda Price. I can tell you the old guys are probably not going to be happy about this. But, oh my god, that is just incredible. A knockout win in under 5 minutes. Once they got back in the ring, it seemed Amber Charlotte had the advantage over Amanda Price, but out of nowhere, Amanda Price, remembering the training from her mentor, using 2 angle slams, knocking Amber Charlotte clean out. Clean out. I'm looking at the EMTs coming out as we speak, taking Amber Charlotte out of the arena as Amanda Price celebrates with the fans here in Tokyo, Japan. What an incredible display. Amanda Price came to this match saying she wanted revenge. She had a receipt for Amber Charlotte. She wanted to put her in the hospital the way Amber Charlotte did to her. And that's exactly what Amanda Price did. Incredible. If this does not put Amanda Price in a number one contender spot for the women's title, I don't know what will. Ladies and gentlemen, we now are coming up to our main event. The mighty Hercules will be challenging the chosen one, Steven Dynamite, for the Grand Tour Championship in a no-holds-barred street fight. No disqualification, no countout. You win either by submission or pinfall. This all started right after Summer Bash. Steven Dynamite reminding Hercules that he is the sheriff in GTW and he wasn't going to allow Hercules to get away with his crimes that he was committing in Grand Tour Wrestling. As a result, Hercules insisted settling the differences in the ring under the condition that if Hercules could win, he would get a shot at the Grand Tour title at the Rising Sun. Hercules destroyed Dynamite that night, winning the match. But not only did Hercules win the match, he assaulted Steven Dynamite afterwards, throwing him to the stairs, slamming him through a table, putting Dynamite in a hospital for 1 month. Ever since then, during Steven Dynamite's absence, Hercules and the Old Gods had kidnapped the son of Charles Elliott, Damian Elliott, using him as a hostage and bargaining chip. Hercules had all kinds of demands from the director of GTW. One of them, as such, was Arcangel getting a heavyweight title match against Dio Sebation, which, as you saw at tonight's opening match, completely backfired as Dio Sebation managed to retain the title. Another condition is that Arcangel and Rebecca Troy will have a shot at the Intergender Tag Team Championship at a moment of Hercules' choosing. Anytime Hercules decides to pull that trigger is when those two will be getting their title match against whoever may be the mixed tag team champions at the time. Demand number 3 was Hercules winning complete immunity from being fired. That means no matter what, Hercules can get away with anything in GTW and completely lack accountability. And condition number 4 was he wanted to challenge Charles Elliott to a match, and the winner would be the director of GTW and have complete control over Grand Tour Wrestling. Unfortunately, the director Charles Elliott had no choice but to give in to all of Hercules' demands in order to secure his son's safety and freedom. Hercules was a man of word and did, in fact, give up young Damian Elliott back to his father. And Charles Elliott did meet Hercules in the ring. What Hercules did not count on was there was one little loophole in that match contract. It did not specify who the referee was, and Steven Dynamite made his grand return on Wednesday Night Brawl this week as the guest referee, completely screwing Hercules. Hercules completely losing his opportunity to control Grand Tour Wrestling. And here we are tonight. It was on Dystopia when Steven Dynamite said he was glad he screwed him over, that he purposely came back as a guest referee because he wanted to make sure he would not gain control of Grand Tour Wrestling. And Steven Dynamite declared that tonight at the Rising Sun, he will retain his Grand Tour title to get his second receipt on him. And in his words, Hercules, you have been chosen. And now here we are at our main event for tonight's pay-per-view event. Steven Dynamite versus Hercules for the Grand Tour title in a no-holds-barred street fight. And that's going to be right here, right now, on this GTW Japanese pay-per-view event, the Rising Sun.
The following contest is a no-holds-barred match and is for the Grand Prix Championship.
And here comes the challenger, the mighty Hercules, holding up his mighty sword of power, representing his status here in Grand Tour Wrestling. When Hercules first made his debut in this promotion, he immediately won the Grand Tour title from Dio Sebation. And for 6 months straight, Hercules was not only undefeated in Grand Tour Wrestling, but was the undefeated Grand Tour champion. No one was able to defeat him for that title. He beat the very best in the ring. Until one night, one special pay-per-view event, Steven Dynamite, the mid-card wrestler, the underdog, would go on that night to claim the title of the Chosen One. As in that battle between David versus Goliath, Steven Dynamite, despite the size difference between the two, in a grueling 60-minute Iron Man match, defeated Hercules for the title. 1 year later, Hercules still has not been able to let go of that fateful loss. Still could not comprehend how Goliath lost to David. And tonight, Hercules will have his chance at redemption. Will Goliath be able to get his revenge on David tonight? Will Hercules be able to punish Steven Dynamite for what happened 1 year ago and walk away as Grand Tour champion? And here he is, folks, the Grand Tour champion himself, the Chosen One, Steven Dynamite, the big crowd favorite of Grand Tour Wrestling, the babyface, the main eventer, right here at the Tokyo Dome here in Japan. Steven Dynamite has climbed the ladder, starting off as a low mid-card wrestler. Many thought he would never be able to amount to anything until he climbed that ladder, until one day he won that Royal Rumble match, until he earned that shot at the Grand Tour title. This is David, who defeated Goliath, and now is the self-proclaimed chef of Grand Tour Wrestling, ready to stop injustice whenever he sees it. He doesn't just see himself as the champ, he sees himself as the protector of the belt. And here he is, ready to fight for it once again, ready to face off against the evil, vile, and mighty Hercules. Who will walk away tonight, Grand Tour Champion? Will it be the Mighty One or the Chosen One?
Introducing the challenger. From Athens, Greece, weighing in at 341 pounds, the mighty, unbreakable, indestructible Hercules! And his opponent, from Long Island, New York, weighing in at 214 pounds, the Grand Prix champion, the Chosen One, Stephen Dynamite!
And here we go. This is what it's all about tonight. The title on the line. The belt is in the air. And here comes the bell. Hercules immediately goes for that big boot, but Stephen Dynamite knows him really well and goes to roll him out of the way. However, is unable to scurry his way out of that raw power as Hercules gets the hold on him. It's Dynamite going for the shot to the ribs, knowing Hercules' weakness. We can see Dynamite using the same tactics that he used the last time they fought each other, or the last time they had a title match a year ago. However, this time I think Hercules might be a little wise to Dynamite's tactics. You see Stephen Dynamite, knowing he can't outpower him, he was desperately trying to get under the ring for a foreign object. This is a no disqualification match after all. Anything goes. And Hercules now has him up, using his full force to slam into the mat. Remember, there is no disqualification, no count out. These two can fight outside the ring as long as they want. However, as Hercules knows, the title will only change hands inside the squared circle. Hercules going under the ring for that Singapore cane, but Dynamite taking advantage, jumping off the ring using a high-risk maneuver. I don't know if it paid off. Technically it landed. However, I think Dynamite might have done more damage to himself than he did to his opponent. Here's Hercules once again tearing apart the Grand Tour champion, and he now brings out a table. And here he goes, throwing Dynamite against the barricade. We have a table set up. Who knows what cruel intentions Hercules has in mind for the Grand Tour champion. There he is, taunting Dynamite. Hercules is not stupid. He knows that he can't win the title outside the ring. Dynamite quickly going for that Singapore cane, but Hercules giving him a hard hit to the ribs. Dynamite, though, fighting back. He goes for an Irish whip. Hercules manages to use his power to stop him in his tracks, but it doesn't stop Dynamite, who comes in hot with a Hurricanrana and follows up with a shooting star press. And Dynamite now throwing Hercules against the steel stairs. Once again, he knows he can't outpower him. He's got to use every advantage he can in this no disqualification match. He has Hercules sit up against the table. What's he doing? No! Hercules stops in his tracks before he can be thrown into the table. Now Hercules making Dynamite pay for his decision as he starts beating on him. And now it's Dynamite's turn to be thrown to the stairs, and I guarantee you the damage done to Dynamite is 10 times worse than what he could do to Hercules. Dynamite making his way back into the ring. Looks like he wants to go for that high-risk maneuver. He sees Hercules getting in the ring. Hercules wise to Stephen Dynamite's tactics, These two men know each other so well. They know each other's strengths and weaknesses. Dynamite knows he has to keep Hercules from using his strength. He has to keep him down. He knows that once Hercules gets a hold of him, it's over. Hercules also knows that Stephen Dynamite is going to have to rely on his agility and high-risk maneuvers in order to outmaneuver this brute force fighter. 1, 2, Dynamite kicks out. Hercules going for a second pin, this time using the ropes as leverage, completely legal in this no DQ match. And here comes Hercules, getting the pressure on Stephen Dynamite, getting in that submission hold. Dynamite trying to fight his way out. He bridges his way into a leverage position. But Hercules out of nowhere gets a spear on Stephen Dynamite. 1, 2, but Dynamite gets the shoulder up. Hercules thus far dominating in this championship match. He has Stephen Dynamite setting up for a huge powerbomb, but no, instead goes for snake eyes into the turnbuckle. Hercules going to the ring, taking out a hockey stick. Using the foreign object, smack between Dynamite's eyes. Dynamite desperately trying to fight back now. And Dynamite tuning up the band. Sweet chin music. Will this be enough? 1, 2, but no, Hercules gets the shoulder up. That was a big desperate attempt by the Grand Tour champion trying to hit Hercules with the sweet chin music. However, it was not enough to put the challenger away. Dynamite using a drop kick, trying to keep this fearsome brute force fighter down, and he hits him with a swanton bomb. Will this be enough to retain? 1, 2, but Hercules again gets the shoulder up. Amazing. After a sweet chin music and a swanton bomb, Hercules still manages to kick out. However, Stephen Dynamite has gained the advantage for the moment. He now has a kendo stick in hand. Hercules quickly catching him with the foreign object and comes in hot with a clothesline. And now Hercules setting him up for his own finisher move. He's going for the God Spear. No, it seems he's changed his mind. Instead of going for the God Spear, he's deciding to go for that hockey stick, but Dynamite, with his spider sense, so to speak, managed to dodge at the last second. Here comes Hercules with a fireman's carry. Stephen Dynamite going for those elbows, trying to fight his way out of it. Dynamite throwing Hercules against the ropes. An amazing spinning kick by Dynamite. Kendo stick in hand, and he gets Hercules between the eyes. Will that be enough to keep him down? 1, 2, Hercules kicks out. Here goes Dynamite with his finisher move, the Psycho Cutter. Once again, going for that pin. 1, 2, 1. Again, Hercules with the shoulder up. Stephen Dynamite has used 3 of his finishing moves, and he's starting to wonder what's going to take. Desperately, he springs up the top rope for that moonsault, and it may have just cost him there. As no one's home, Hercules goes for the pin. 2, and Dynamite at the very last second kicks out. There goes Stephen Dynamite going for that DDT. You can see the champion is desperate, pulling out all the stops. He's now using a hockey stick as a weapon, trying to bust the knee on Hercules. 1, 2, Hercules again kicks out. You can see the frustration on Stephen Dynamite's face. He's starting to rethink if he should ever put his title on the line in this match. And Hercules out of nowhere with a Superman punch. Dynamite coming back with a clothesline. A second clothesline. Hercules attempting to kick. Dynamite taking him down. The crowd in the Tokyo Dome going wild. And Stephen Dynamite just broke that kendo stick into pieces over Hercules' huge body, and a second swanton bomb. Will this be enough? 1, 2, no, again, Hercules with the shoulder up. He's kicked out of Sweet Chin Music. He's kicked out 2 swanton bombs. He's kicked out of a Psycho Cutter. He's kicked out. And what's this? It's Arcangel. Arcangel's coming out now. So much for a fair fight. Steven Dynamite just had the challenger against the ropes. And here comes Arcangel, the spear completely taking out Dynamite. The ref goes for the count. 1, 2. No. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't believe it. Somehow Steven Dynamite got the shoulder up. Out of nowhere, Arcangel, Hercules is like the old gods, came with the spear. However, this still might have cost him. And there's Hercules with the God Spear on the champion. Here comes the pin. Will we have a new champ? 1, 2, 3. We do. Hercules wins the Grand Tour title. That is incredible, folks. Steven Dynamite was so close to winning that match. He was so close to retaining that title. But out of nowhere, Arcangel came out and interfered. He came out and gave Steven Dynamite a spear, giving Hercules enough time to recoup, hitting him with his finisher move, the God Spear. And now we have a new Grand Tour champion. Hercules, after a whole year living under the Chosen One's shadow, has finally gotten his revenge on Steven Dynamite, where Steven Dynamite had ensured that Hercules would not get complete control over Grand Tour Wrestling last Wednesday on Brawl. Hercules, tonight with the help of his lackey Arcangel, had just ensured that Steven Dynamite would no longer be the Grand Tour champion. This is a dark day for Grand Tour Wrestling, as Hercules now once again secures himself nearly ultimate power in this great promotion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our pay-per-view, unfortunately. He fought hard and valiant, but in the end of the day, the number of games was just too much for him. We'll see this Wednesday how this will play out on Wednesday Night Brawl. Tune in 7 p.m. on 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central on Infinite Fantasy /Twitch.tv to see how Steven Dynamite will react to this loss here tonight. And also a reminder that Dystopia will not be on this Saturday. We will only be having Brawl on Wednesday this week. Before we go, there's one last announcement. In 2 weeks from today, we'll have our next pay-per-view event celebrating this great month of October. Will be the GTW Halloween Special Fright Night. That'll be 2 weeks away. And the way things are building up here tonight, I can only imagine what main event we're looking for that next pay-per-view. For those of you who are watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I need your support to keep this great content going. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. This is Infinite Fantasy signing out. May your fantasies be infinite.